Hey there, so welcome to another Berry Patch review. In today's review, I shall be reviewing Star Wars: The Legends of Luke Skywalker by Ken Liu. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So, Legends of Luke. So, a quick little background information: Legends of Luke Skywalker is part of the Journey to the Force Awakens line of Star Wars books. And I just want to say, there's a lot. It's one, two, three, four, five, six short stories in a sense, six legends about Luke Skywalker. And I want to say, they're pretty much all unreliable narrators, is to say the least. There's only two I have confidence to say they are nearly factual. But the rest, oh yeah, no. At all. Let's see, yeah, some of them are really out there. They're a lot and truly just crazy. Let's see, the one that's probably the most reliable is the one told from the perspective of the droid. There is a story told from a droid. Of course, it's been told and it's been shared between droids. And droids are going to be much better at a game of telephone than actual people. Like the very first one is obviously, there's some issues going on with that one. But that one is like, I kind of believe that somebody was sitting in a cantina telling legends of Luke Skywalker, and Luke Skywalker could easily listen to them and do nothing about them. I could actually see that happening. That's what happens in the first tale tied to the Mythbuster. I could see that happening. The tale is told, I don't believe, but I could see that Luke kind of listening to one of those and then not doing anything about it. I don't know why. Just feel like that's something. Oh, but the second legend, the Starship Graveyard, yeah, an Imperial, that concussed Imperial, where the story came from, was obviously experiencing some delusions from his injuries. He did have a concussion after all. And then a small game, and then a game of telephone till we're told it. Yeah, I can see things changing there. Fishing in the Doge, that one actually, I could makes a little sense there. That's one of them I would put a little stock in, because we know Luke Skywalker was looking at different things, different aspects of the Force, and trying to find out more about the Jedi. We know he was doing that, and since there is a character who is introduced after that story that there was who actually also told the story, there's a connection there that makes me feel like, yeah, that story has some merits to it. I definitely has some merits. And that one could be no game at telephone. The person who's telling it could have witnessed those events. But that one, still, I'm not quite sure. But that one I put more stock in than any others, except for the fourth one I enjoyed. Which I just gotta say, the title is very reminiscent of the Legends novel I, Jedi, which someday I'll reread so I can review it, but I gotta get through all the current canon books that I'm behind on. But the one I enjoyed and droid experienced it and told other droids, to the droid that told it to us in the book, in the Legends of Luke Skywalker. That legend, I would say, is probably the most accurate, unless one of those droids in that chain of telephone experienced a memory failure. But providing no technical issues, it's still going to be more accurate than any human-relayed legend or story. So, that one I put actually a lot of stock in, and it kind of reminds me of some of the more campy Star Wars legend stories, like the Jedi Prince series of books, which I don't consider Legends canon. That's how weird I find that, but that kind of I enjoyed that story. Kind of reminded me of that, some of the more campy and young adult ones. So That one I find very plausible. Really, it's the two middle ones that are the most plausible. The Tale of the Lugubrious Moat. Oh man, I forgot what that one's about. Oh yeah, told from the perspective of a flea in Jabba's palace. Yeah, I don't put much stock into that one, given what we know. Granted, we would never be able to see the flea, but still, I don't put that much stock in it. Sounds like a story somebody who doesn't believe in the Force would make up, which makes it that much more intriguing. And then the last one, Big Insight. Actually, that one does have some merit as well, too. Oh, I would say three of them, the stories are totally made up or badly retold. So yes, yeah, the Mythbuster, I would say, kind of somebody just making up crazy stories about Luke Skywalker and then maybe mistold or told, and then a game of telephone where the story got changed by the time we hear it, but still somewhat like part of the story makes sense, like somebody telling the tales, and then Luke Skywalker listening to those tales. Maybe his reaction is what's been changed over time. Because we honestly don't know how these legends have changed, but we know they're legends. And of course, there's always some truth in legends. So we can pick out the truth here. I would say all these started from true. All these the in-universe stories started from a true story that over time got changed. So if we look back in each and analyze and critique them, there's gonna be some truth. Mythbusters, there's gonna be some people who claim that all of Luke's accomplishments were just a hoax. That's gonna happen. I could see especially some disgruntled Imperials saying that too. Saying that. And then of course Luke, would he have corrected, would he have not? I don't know. But there is some truth how somebody could make up false stories about Luke Skywalker to try to discredit him. The Starship Graveyard. I think the truth there is that an Imperial got concussed and imagined he saw Luke Skywalker during the Battle of Jakku walking out in space, performing his lightsaber and cloak to take on the Imperial fleet. But the second half of the story, I could see that if Luke Skywalker was on Jakku, that he would help people survive, help even injured Imperials survive. There are parts though that, yes, I could see actually happening, but I don't think Luke Skywalker was actually at Jakku. I think that concussed Imperial imagined it and then the legend just grew from there. Fishing in the George again, that one again, if my suspicion that the person who told it was the person who witnessed it, then I will say that there is a lot of good merit in the story. But if not, I would say it's still pretty more reliable than the first two. Definitely. What's explaining that could be somebody who, even someone just combining multiple stories of Luke Skywalker seeking in his journey to learn more about the Force. I could see Fishing the George to be kind of a compilation of all those stories compiled into one legend. And of course that also introduces a new name for the Force, the Tide, which makes sense because we have the Asher, we got the Bogan for the dark side, Asher for the light, and for the Force as a whole, for the Lasat, and there's probably a few other names out there. But yeah, and I think there's a few other names we've heard too. Whales, I think, is sometimes used. Not sure about that one. iDroid is probably the one that I have the most stock that is accurate, because, well, droids are better at, as I said earlier, are better at telephone than humans. I know I'm reiterating all this stuff again, but I want to reiterate. It's my prerogative after all. But yeah, and that one actually I found a little more campy than some of the others, but definitely kind of an interesting story, and something I would imagine Skywalker doing. I could see that, Yes, there could be a pirate, essentially, who goes out and captures droids to work in the mines so a bunch of rich people can live the life of luxury. And then R2-D2 is also captured, sent there, and then Luke goes and rescues him. I can see that happening. Luke Skywalker has rescued R2-D2 in Legends a couple of times, that's why I find it likely. Tale of the Lugubrious Moat, I have no stock in that one whatsoever. Really. I could see, again, similar to the first one, somebody trying to discredit Luke Skywalker. But, in the universe, of course. Just kind of, but still kind of fun and interesting. The only part I do kind of believe is that flea species and then Koraklian monkey lizards do live in kind of a symbiotic relationship on their home planet. I actually have some stock in that one for some reason. And then the big inside, the Skywalker and an exobiologist, or something, I'm not quite sure, walking around inside an exogolf, or a space slug. No, the one like the one we saw in Empire Strikes Back, but this one is huge, has entire ecosystems capable of supporting life, not just Minox and microorganisms, but complex life. And humans could go in and live in there with some ill effects. And then, of course, 3 ancient Force users being stuck inside in a kind of a cocoon hibernation trance. That I found interesting. Apparently from the time before the Jedi, too. But what I put the most stock in there is that, exogolfs can have entire ecosystems live inside them. Entire worlds and species and all that. And I can also see Luke Skywalker in his travels being willing to, especially if he had a multi-seater vehicle, to give people rides between planets. I can actually see that. But there was no mention of R2-D2 there, so I find that peculiar. But we know that Luke Skywalker at some point leaves R2-D2 in the hands of Leia because he's at the Resistance base in The Force Awakens, so how did he get there? Obviously Luke Skywalker did not have him the entire time. But I find that one to be kind of interesting, a good look into exogolfs in that. I take that as kind of more realistic, but still, they're all good tales, and as I said, and as Ahsoka said, there's always some truth in legends. So I kind of, in this review, I more explained what I saw to the book and that, and how much truth I thought was in all these legends. And I would like to hear from you. How much truth do you think is in the legends presented in the Legends of Luke Skywalker? Before I go, I want to say I give this one a 5 stars out of 5 rating. One of probably my highest rating yet, but I honestly believe that it deserves it. Also, if I would add anything, I would add a few more legends in there, because they were good legends, and I'm sure they could have created more legends. And I would like to see more of these compilations of like short stories or novellas together, in a sense, because I like that. It's kind of a nice change of pace. We get some different narrators and all that. That's what also I loved about, from a certain point of view, that really changing of narrators and reliability of a narrator, that kind of thing, and non-reliable narrator. Those things are neat to see, and well, we don't always have them in books, and I like seeing that. Kind of gives more weight to the saying, there's more truth in legends, and from a certain point of view, in the Legends of Luke Skywalker, what they open up to us is, well, the ability to say that legends are true from a certain point of view, and there's always still some truth in them, even though they're false. Think of legends as an art and history of the Star Wars universe, told from within the Star Wars universe, the canon universe. So I'll leave you with that, and thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. Read books.